Hi everyone, welcome to my 35-week pregnancy vlog. I am 35 weeks and 3 days today. There's Bumpy McBumpo. Quite a neat little bump this week. It feels like it's kind of sort of compacted. It's gotten quite hard. That bloody cough is still here. Guys, look at my melasma. Oh my goodness, it's everywhere. Also, I did an eyebrow dye job this week. And another funny little pregnancy thing is I think the top of my eyebrows have rubbed away just from pregnancy, because I used to be able to just dye them and they'd look great. They were dark brown, but now I've dyed them and the top half of them are lighter than the bottom half. And when I look really closely, I realize it's because the hairs have basically gone from the top half of my eyebrows. So that's another just weird pregnancy thing. And my friend Haley, who's an eyebrow specialist, that's her job, I send her close-up pictures of my eyebrow and she was like, yeah, that happens a lot. Like, people lose the hair from their eyebrows. It's like, oh my God, how gorgeous. Anyway, I managed to get my hair done this week before lockdown. So I got my hair chopped and I got my hair brightened, lifted. Last night I slept in pigtails, which is why it's so like, yeah, so this week has been good. We are day 2 of lockdown, day 3 of lockdown actually. In South Australia, we've had a bunch of COVID cases, not compared to many other countries, or even many other Australian states. We've had a lot less cases, but we got on it really quickly and then they've locked everyone down. So that basically means that we're just at the house, kids are out of school, and one person per day can go out to get groceries. Yesterday, that person was me. The day before, that was Mark. Yesterday, I had a scan as well. So I had another MCA scan. So for those of you who've been following along, I have the allo-immunization pregnancy. You can see, I think it's my 33-week pregnancy vlog where I really talk about that in detail and explain a little bit more about why that's a complicated thing to have and all the ways in which we're treating it. So I have to have these MCA scans and I had one yesterday and it was fantastic. She is doing really well in there, plenty of fluid. They checked anemia levels. She looks all fine. And her, when we checked her at 28 weeks, she was in the 50th percentile. And then at 33 weeks, she had dropped down to the 17th percentile. So that was another reason I really wanted to check her out, just to see how her growth is. And she's now bounced back up to the 30th percentile. So that's a good thing. It also gives me peace of mind to know that the loose plan we've come up with now is that I can have a home birth if I birth before 39-ish weeks. And if I go beyond 39 plus 1, I will go into the birth center, have my water broken, and have the baby at the birth center. So yeah, I guess at 35.5 weeks, I'm starting to try all the natural induction things that I know of that we talk about in our book. I'll show you a couple of these things here. So I have the evening primrose oil. I take 1 capsule orally a day. They're quite big, but because they're oil capsules, they go down really easily. So I take 1 a day and then I prick one with the back of my earring, prick a hole in it, and then insert it as high up as possible. And then because it's oil, I sleep with a little pad on and an undies on. Nice big granny undies. So that in the morning, you know, anything's caught if there's anything that comes out. The clary sage here I have, boom, boom. This I rub in, I mix a few drops of it in with a bit of oil, rub all over my belly. I put it in the bath, I can diffuse with it. I'm also doing other things like, you know how I told you I've become very obsessed with my apple rings. I've been exercising every single day for 30 minutes. I have a big property here and it's on quite a steep hill. So even just putting my sneakers on and walking 4 lengths of the property brings me to about 45 minutes. And, you know, on the inclines, my heart rate's really getting up there. So I feel like the walking has been great. It means I've been walking about 8 to 10 kilometers a day. I've just been checking and monitoring my steps and really enjoying being physical this pregnancy. I feel like it's, baby, mummy, remember how mummy said she's doing her vlog? I'll come out when I'm done, okay? I don't know what she wants. I want something. So being physical has been really great. A couple of new things this week. During the scan, they said that her head's down and she's sort of facing the side, head down and facing the side, so looking that way. Optimal fetal positioning is obviously looking down. So I would love to get her in a more favorable position before I get into labor, because with a posterior position, oh, that's poet. Can you hear that? She's on the iPad watching Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. Anyway, so I want to get her in a more favorable position. So I discovered this thing. I have actually never heard of it before, which is bizarre. I always use spinning babies, which helps to get baby in a good position for labor. But I've heard of this new one called the Miles circuit, which can also help to induce labor apparently, or help labor keep moving if you've got prodromal labor, which is that sort of stop-start pattern of labor when you're further along. I was thinking of starting the Miles circuit around 37 weeks, because if I can get things going, obviously I get to have my home birth. So that is, it's like a circuit. It takes 90 minutes. It's certain positions to just get baby into that really good position. But I will say I'm feeling a lot more contact with my cervix, which people describe that as lightning crotch, lightning crotch, where you get this sort of stab of pain. And I remember when I was first pregnant, I would feel these sharp pains, and I was so worried that that was what labor was going to feel like, that just like that ongoing. It doesn't feel like that, guys. That's a completely different pain. It's like a sharp inhale pain when it hits your cervix, when the baby's head's pushing down on the cervix. Whereas during labor, you know, it's sort of a wrapping sensation. Like you feel the tightening, and it's a deep, if you've ever had like a stomach bug and you need to go to the toilet and you get those pains, that's more, in my opinion, what labor pains feel like, that deep sort of period, funny diarrhea, tummy pains. Speaking of those pains, so I've been drinking my red raspberry leaf tea a lot, and I had a really strong brew yesterday. I happened to just leave it simmering on the stove for a really long time. And so I strained it and I put it in these glass bottles, and I drank a full glass bottle of red raspberry leaf tea. And then kind of within an hour or so, I could feel Braxton Hicks, and they were quite strong. And I was like, oof, that's really full on. And I was like, oh, okay, maybe I've drunk too much of this today. Like, I'm just going to chill out on this. And I was walking a lot and I had done my exercise. So I was like, I'm just going to relax. And then I had to go to the bathroom and I was sick. And I think it's because my brew was just way too strong. Although it has been going around in my family. So it could either have been that or I got it from the kids. Mark seems to think it was just from the tea. But I had a shower and just felt so much better afterwards, you know, when you feel sick and then afterwards you feel so much better. So that was yesterday. That was quite eventful. And I was like, oh my God, have I like kicked myself into labor? But no, of course not. And I have a tendency to have prodromal labor, which means this sort of stop-start pattern. But I know all these Braxton Hicks contractions that I have been feeling really are helping to work towards opening my cervix, softening my cervix, effacing. So even though sometimes, especially when you're further along, I remember last time with POA, I was 40 weeks and I was getting them stop-start and I was getting quite disheartened because I was like, oh, when's the real thing going to happen? But it made for such an easier labor because my body had done so much work without really being in the intensity of those strong contractions. And then so on Labor Day, my labor was so much shorter and I felt like it was a lot easier because I'd had all these days of these stop-start contractions. And at the time, whilst frustrating, when I look back, I'm so grateful that I had that because it helped me have such a shorter labor. So this year and this baby, I'm really hoping that I get more Braxton Hicks, that I sort of get that prodromal labor from 37 weeks, not earlier, thank you. So that when it comes down to the day, it's just going to be a faster, quicker experience and hopefully a bit easier because my body's already done the work to open myself up. So, yeah, and another really cool, exciting thing this week is that my colostrum came in. Woo, finally. And Poet's still nursing. She's just turned 2 and she only nurses once a day. But now she's like, whoa, like what is this? Because I basically dried up during pregnancy. So I thought she was beginning to wean herself. And I've always tandem breastfed my babies. I like to sort of let them tell me when they're done or just like organically come to a breastfeeding journey end with my child. And, you know, my toddlers have generally been around 3 when they're done, but I felt like she was going to be done earlier until my colostrum came in and now she's like, wow. So she's now nursing twice a day, in the morning and right before bed. But that was really cool. After not having anything in there for a while, I was in the bath and I was like, oh, let me just see. And I saw the colostrum come out, which was really exciting. So really my body just prepping and getting ready for this next baby. And all of these little things make me feel so excited. And, I can't wait for her to be here and to be lying in this little bassinet and to be snuggling with us. And I got some really beautiful little plaques. I got a plaque with her name, her first name and middle name on it. I got another plaque that's from Zilvi. I got another plaque from Wattle and Wildflower, a bunch of really cool milestone plaques. I picked out her announcement outfit and how she's going to be. And my bestie Cass came over before lockdown and we picked it out. We laid it out in the bed and we took a photo and we're like, all right, that's it. That's what we're going to do. So it was really, really lovely. And her husband's the one that's going to take the photo, Stuart. He's one of our best friends and he's a really amazing photographer. Anyway, very exciting talking about all this stuff. But that's it from me for 35 weeks. I will see you next week. Goodbye from Adelaide lockdown. Mwah.